Hey, everybody. So they were here for a while, and I thought I was going to log in and see them all sitting there, but the school board members are not there. And some of the parents came up to the microphone saying, "Come on, what's going on? And we know you're back there. You kept us waiting for over an hour now. We should be home having dinner and stuff." So I know they're considering firing the district police chief. And so I kind of came in on the middle of this without catching any of what went on before. So we'll just give it a little bit and see where this is going. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. That was the last minute thing. Not sure if it was going to be worth the stream or not, but hey Giovanna, Trish, Punk, moderator, thank you for being here. 773. Hey Jean, Sonia, Nicole, and Chris, how you doing? Nelda, hey Nelda, Sandy, Naya, of course, Gata, thank you for being here. Jennifer, what's up? And like I said, just before I went on, the crowd was getting a little restless. One of the parents came up, grabbed the mic at the podium that's on the down below, and said, "What's going on? You've kept us waiting here for over an hour. We should be home having dinner with our families, and etc." So I don't know if they're back there somewhere contemplating the firing or what. Hopefully, we'll find out soon. The guy just came out to do something with the microphones. You saw him. Yo, Fausto, good to see you. Susie, Felicia, Domingo. Yeah, I don't think he's worthy of any kind of job that protects people. Yo, Liz, Beatriz. So TEA law says that. So why would they? Who would title this in school boards considering um, firing him? Is that something maybe they can recommend that he be fired, or like a no confidence vote or something? Hey, Melissa. He's asking for reinstatement and back pay. Yeah, that's I don't know. I know it's an emotional decision to not want him back, but does he have something? I'm not sure. Mariela, hey there, Linda Cruz, Brenda, Mari Cruz. Yeah, I didn't think they would discuss privately. I thought this had to be discussed, out in the open, in public, right? Let's see where this is going. Let's see where this is going. And yes, we will have some VT Chronicles later tonight. In case you're wondering. Hey, Lala. Speaking of schools, the topic of schools and education, how do you guys feel about how do you feel about taxpayers paying off all the student debt, a lot of the student debt, student loans? Yes, that we will have to pay off, me and you. Ella Stone, hey there. So we'll see. What's up, Richard Steamboat? Hey, Kate. Good day, mate. Kate, do they still say that? Good day, mate. Good day. Or was that just a Hollywood thing? I'm sincerely asking, by the way. Was Crocodile Dundee considered a joke, or was that was the national hero? Yeah, at least the movie, anyway. Hey, Veronica. Yeah, I believe he was supposed to show up. I think his attorney showed up, from what I understand. And the headline should have, instead of saying they're having a meeting to consider firing him, and Elizabeth Ramos corrected me and said TEA, that they cannot fire anyone. So maybe the headline should have read, Arredondo is seeking his position back with back pay. Well, I believe it started already. I checked in over an hour ago, and the board members were sitting there. I just couldn't stream. I was not home. And then had some dinner when I got back. I saw that they were still live. It seemed like they were in some kind of recess or something. So I decided to pop it back up here. One of the parents said, why are you guys making us wait? It's been over an hour. They've been gone for over an hour already. So we'll see what's going on here. Okay. Good day it is. Yeah, I mean, obviously that situation was a huge failure on a lot of levels. Um, as far as who should have been in a position of calling the shots, I'm not going to pretend to know. I'm not going to pretend to know at all. So anyone who does want to pretend to know, I'm sure they're wrong too. Especially if they themselves don't know, what the chain of command should have been or who should have called the shots. I think. I mean, when it's happening, somebody step up, do something instead of not doing anything. And then, yes, I know later it would have been, oh, well, somebody not in charge decided to be in charge and it's his fault and it's his fault. I'm sure that would have happened, right? But if we go back through it again, if you go back to the video that night that we broadcast the entire hallway video, or even the right before when the shooter crashed his truck outside, he walked across the parking lot. Almost, I'll say 95% of the shooting, 95% of what he did was done virtually by the time police got there. So whoever was hit was already hit. Were some people bleeding out, some kids bleeding out, teachers? I would imagine so. I imagine the younger bodies probably didn't take, being shot very well, and they expired quickly. But I imagine some were bleeding and, could have possibly been saved had they, received some attention, right? Stop the bleeding, that kind of thing. Still, having said that, I think Bam and I counted, I don't know, I want to say 120 something rounds from the moment he entered the building when he went down the hall just before police officers arrived and started trying to engage him at the end of the hall. But by that time, he was just shooting back at them. So again, if you ask me, I think most of the damage was done in the first few minutes. So whether you had one cop there or 50 cops there, do something. I think we already had a bunch of our victims already. So did the delay in going in cause some of those to bleed out and pass because they couldn't, receive care? Possibly, and that's it's sad. It was just a crappy situation, the whole thing. So somebody should have stepped up, and what could have happened? I know they don't want to call it a standoff or a barricade situation. Well, I think the kid hit him. He was hiding somewhere, and I think the police knew where he was. It was just kind of a bit of a standoff until finally somebody. Yeah, the crowd's getting restless. Now I'm streaming this from KRGV, a local station down here in the valley. I tried to go direct to the school district, but it's kind of a black screen right now. All it says is live events. So if they do turn it on at the school, I will go to them. And they have. Hang on a second. Give me a second. There we go.
We reconvene from closed session for action relevant to items covered during closed session and other items listed. 4A, discussion and possible action regarding termination for good cause as recommended by the superintendent of the non-certified contract, Pete Arredondo.
Mr. Board President, I move that good cause exists to terminate the non-certified contract of Pete Arredondo effective immediately. I further move that good cause exists to ratify the unpaid leave status of Mr. Arredondo starting July 19th, 2022. Finally, I move to authorize the superintendent to issue written notice to Mr. Arredondo of this board action, including filing any needed reports required by the termination.
Second. Got a motion by Ms. Laura Perez, second by Mr. Javier Flores. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 5, adjournment.
Mr. Board President, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second. Got a motion by Ms. Laura Perez, second by Ms. Javier Flores. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
That's it. Let me go back to the other coverage and see what they've got, if anything.
We reconvene from closed session for action relevant to items covered during closed
Exists to ratify the unpaid leave status of Mr. Arredondo starting July 19th, 2022. Finally, I move to authorize the superintendent to issue written notice to Mr. Arredondo of this board action, including filing any needed reports required by the termination.
Got a motion by Ms. Laura Perez, second by Mr. Javier Flores. Any further discussion?
So,
Hearing none, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
so
Item number 5.
they're voting to recommend to the superintendent to get rid of him. That's what that sounded like.
Got a motion by Ms. Laura Perez, second by Ms. Javier Flores. We stand adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night.
I can't tell what they're yelling. Yeah, that's it. That was yeah, recommend it to the superintendent. Let's see, is there more coverage over here? Nope. Checking one more spot. Well, it looks like they're showing something over here. Let's find out what it is. Okay, they were just showing the families and walk away and talk and hug and all that stuff. Yeah, so that'll end that. So we'll see what happens next. That's all for right now, guys. I'm sure our little friend will have her opinions on this, which basically I think everyone agrees. This is not rocket science of huge failure of leadership. You know, he can say what he wants, but ultimately somebody should have stepped up. You know, it's like you see in the movies, you know, FBI shows up. Yeah, we're in charge now. That should have happened. You know, again, having said that, and I don't mean to rub it in on the families or on the community. I think the bulk of the damage, the losses were done in the first, you know, from when he entered the building. I mean, from when he was outside, even, I forget the timeline. I want to say it was about 5 minutes. 5 to 9 minutes when he entered, from the time he crashed the car, walked across, entered the building. I want to say that's around, you know, all that happened. I think he did the damage that we ended up with, even right before the police got there. It was already done. So the only losses we had, I think those that survived the initial hit, who were bleeding out maybe, that didn't make it, they could have been saved. I hate to even think about it, but yeah, I agree with that. However, I think the majority of the victims were already gone. So the hour and almost hour and a half that it took for them to take out the shooter, I think, yes, it took long, but I don't think there were any additional fresh victims while the police were there. I think way at the end of that video, once there's a shooting and they start engaging the shooter, it's a few shots, you know, they were going at it back and forth and they finally took him out. But all that fire was at the police officers and the police force that was there, the presence. So I'm sure we'll hear more about this later. I don't think we need to rub in all of the details, which we know already. But just, I think it's important to keep that in mind, that the majority of the victims were already gone, like in the first few minutes. I think, like I said, I think I counted 117, 120 rounds, ending just as the police officers were arriving and they went down there. Remember, they shot a few and then they ran back. Up until that point, I think the damage was done. The majority of the damage was done. So, but yeah, this is something that will forever be talked about. Somebody should have stepped up. Somebody, I don't care who. You know, I think maybe a bad decision would have been better than no decision. And police chief, I don't know. That's no chief, right? That's not the kind of chief you want when you label somebody a chief. So anyway, all right. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat. I appreciate you guys. And we'll be back later with the VT Chronicles. Talk to you then.